Right, so very warm welcome back if you've just joined us. So we're in the Free State today, and this is one province that's been doing a lot of things to move not just the province forward, the country forward, partnerships, not just here in the country, but also far and wide, including the People's Republic of China. We've just heard before the break from the Premier and some of the MECs that are on the panel, and we're unpacking the state of the province, and we'd like to know what your thoughts are, your questions are, your concerns are, perhaps even your suggestions, and you can use your Twitter handle, #TNABizBrief, and also at Morning Live SABC. Now, we've got an audience here, a lot of people who've come, and they're going to be asking questions of the Premier and the MECs. But what we thought we'd do before that is actually go out onto the streets. And we took our microphone and we just asked ordinary citizens in the province what their thoughts and their concerns are, and we're going to be playing some of those during the course of the morning. But let's listen to our first group now, and let's see if we can get some answers for you from the Premier and his team.
I'm really not happy. The reason why I say I'm not happy is because of politics. Politics has taken over a simple procedure of helping people to get funding. Now, if politics is involved, and it also involves the story of people like your friends, your buddies, you pay for them, you help them. It's almost like a government thing. No matter that, they are the people who are in charge of the funding, but they help their own buddies. They don't tend to help the youth. When you go to them, it's long procedures. They're full of politics. That's how I feel. They should divorce politics from a simple procedure of helping young people to get funding. They say young people are the future of South Africa, but yet they're depriving them the opportunities to grow.
Jobs are no longer being created and people are struggling, and even when you have to even report a simple thing like maybe there's a sewage that has blocked, it takes hours and days to get fixed. So really my concern with the government that is currently leading us as a nation, like the ANC, I would say I'm not happy as a youth.
I'm not happy because I live in South Africa, I've grown in South Africa to be this big. Since I've lived in South Africa, we don't get jobs. We don't know why. When you go out, you're going for jobs. You are being told at the firms that you must pay Jojo. Then we don't have jobs. We're sitting at home. We're looking for a job. We don't get jobs. We don't know where's the problem. You are qualified. You have matric. We have qualified, but you don't get jobs. You don't know why. What's the problem? Jobs. We don't know where's the problem. You are qualified. You have matric.
All right, okay, so that's just a taste. I mean, look, a lot of these are anecdotal, but this is kind of the sense of particularly what young people are feeling out on the streets in the Free State. And some of it may be perception, and so for them it's real. So let's find out from our leadership, how do we answer those questions? Premier, politics is getting in the way of simple procedures of helping young people.
Well, the reality in the world, not only in South Africa and in Africa, is that there is unemployment because of the global economic challenges. And there is no way we are part of the globe. What we need to say to our people and young people is that at least you know that as the government in South Africa, in this province, we do interact with our communities. And I think if we are patient, because today somebody is employed, tomorrow is another person. We built houses for some people today in 2000 and 2012 we built some house for some other people. Tomorrow we assist somebody. So we will arrive there. I've traveled the world, I've traveled the continent, and I've seen how people live. I think South Africans, if they can understand the globe, they will really realize that we are very, very fortunate because as a country, indeed, we are moving forward. So those are the real challenges of unemployment. We understand the youth, we understand their plight, and we understand where we come from.
But what are you going to do for them? Because there's an expectation that they have. What are you going to say today to them that are watching that you're going to do tangibly to fix their situation?
Well, how many young people are we taking to school, to universities? In our province, more than 97, 98% of school-going children are at school. It has never happened. Young people today can participate in economic development and issues of the economy. Rural enterprises, cooperatives are there, but what I will want to say to young people and all South Africans and Free Staters is have hope, work hard, wake up, let's do things together. Don't wait for government to do things for you. Let's hold hands and move forward. And I think we are still not doing our work, but to all those who are public representative leaders of our people at all spheres, and public servants and municipal workers, I think we need to wake up and work hard.
The other aspect of that question, I'm going to come to you now, was there seems to be, I don't know, a burden in terms of systems, in terms of, he called it politics, but I guess that they just feel like they have to overcome many hurdles to get to you and get that assistance.
Well, with us, we are all over the Free State. We have Operation Tlasela. We meet with the community. We remember what the Freedom Charter Clause number 1 said, says that the people shall govern. We at all times in this province and throughout the country, through imbizos, it has never happened during the years of apartheid government. We do interact with our communities. We talk to them. They are able to reach the president. We are able to talk to the rich and poor, literate and illiterate, young and old. That's what the South African government and the Free State government is doing.
Okay, let me see, Mashinini. I guess you're the one to answer this question. People report sewage and it takes days to get any kind of response.
You see, Peter, one area that we must look at seriously, the Premier has just indicated that we have a challenge as the country, not only as the province, the challenge of unemployment, poverty and inequality. We accept that. But as the province, what we need to do, we cannot just sit back and say, let life continue that way. You have to do something. And I want to connect this matter with what is this thing that the province is doing. You then say, what are the key sectors that will contribute positively to the challenges that our people are facing, in particular the young people? We have just had that insight there. I'm saying the infrastructure, for an example, if you take it, can contribute, and it has already done that, contribute positively. How? You then say, you identify, how do we change our townships to become better? Remember, the history says our township were actually deprived, improvement. You then get into that. I'm challenging the country and say, get into the Free State, look into the Free State. I can tell you, each and every township, you'll realize that there is a work that is happening with regard to paving and changing the life. People that are doing that, Peter, are the young people, are the people that are unemployed. Yes, in that process, you then begin to skill people to be able to deal with things. What you do at the end, you put bread on the table. That's what you do. That's on the infrastructure. I'm then saying, you go to the other. The Free State, it's a food basket. What does that mean? It means it's an agricultural province. What do you do then? You then look at, we've got Diatalawa, we've got Velemina. There, you go there, you check what people are doing to make sure that there is food on the table. In the process, you get people employed.
All right, let me ask you, I mean, this young man was pretty clear, and his drama is, and his experience is, when there's a problem, you guys are slow to respond. How do you answer him?
I can tell you, Peter, maybe quite oftenly, the Free State responds immediately to an issue. I can tell you, you go to an issue of the roads that are there within the constraints of the budget that we're having. We respond to that. We don't just leave the matter. Just very few days ago, we were in the area called Nketwani. In that, the community said to us, look, we've got challenges 1, 2. And I can tell you, when we said, within few days we must go back as executive and deal with that matter. Well, it might not be with the speed that someone on the ground would want to be, but I can tell you, it is a proactive province that deals with the challenges that are facing the people. But the last one that I want to talk to, Peter, is that how do we then contribute to the unemployment? One of the issues that we are doing in the Free State, we said, if you build the houses, because I argue, beautiful houses are in the Free State. If you check the norms that are there in the other provinces, you'll realize that the houses that have been built in the province are top class. We are now talking about more than 50 square meter houses, which is not there in the other provinces. You find it in the Free State province. Now I'm saying, in this project, the Premier said, we must contribute positively to unemployment because it's a huge task. How do you do that? You massify. Get the people, the skills that are there in the township to do the job for us.
Okay, all right. We'll unpack that a bit more. Anwar Lagadin has tweeted, and MEC for Health, you know it's coming because you've been dealing with this for a few weeks now. He says, what practical steps are there to drag the provincial hospitals from the edge of the abyss? There seems to be a perception out there, and we've seen newspaper articles, we've seen television stories, and it's not painting a great picture for the Department of Health. And I'm just wondering, how do you answer this question from Anwar? I know that you've been defending your position, almost suggesting that a lot of it is sensationalist, but there's a lot of people that seem to be concerned, including Treatment Action Campaign Group, all those kinds of people. What is the story?
Maybe let me explain it to you this way, Peter. You and everybody else would accept from the onset that health by nature is an emotive discipline. And any one thing which anyone who would perhaps visit any of our facilities to seek help would tend to get either frustrated or emotional about what he does not understand or what he understands. Now, there is this notion that is peddled across that health services are collapsing or are on the verge of collapse. And even as is suggested by the question that is raised, that what is it that we need to be doing to prevent provincial hospitals from getting into the abyss? Every health system, if it is not adequately financed, will definitely suffer constraints with regard to what it is expected to deliver. And at the core of health service delivery, within the huge demands that are placed on it by all and sundry, if there is inadequacy in terms of resources that are available to meet the demands, clearly there would be some of those shortcomings that would be experienced. And I do not for a single moment remember where we said there would be delivery of a perfect health system in trying to ensure that we meet the health service demands of our people or to meet the health-seeking behavior of members of our community.
All right, so you've got challenges. Finance is one of them. But, you know, we're hearing stories of drugs not arriving. You know, people in hospitals, and there's cardboards on windows and things like that. Surely those are basic things.
Yeah, let me deal with this issue. You know, when everyone says there is this thing that there are shortages of medication, more often than I cannot sit here and say under all circumstances we have 100% or 110% stock availability. people use the drugs that we dispense over to them. And we try to make sure to ensure that of the essential drugs that we dispense, we have to retain our stock levels at 95% or more. And at times when some of the medication is unavailable, which we at all times know what those medications are, there are two scenarios. You may find that the medication that we do not have in our facilities is not only unavailable in our system, the medication is unavailable countrywide. Now, when a manufacturer is unable to provide the country with particular medication, and as a result, all provinces suffer the unavailability, maybe the misfortune of having that medication unavailable. Why does it become a Free State issue that that medication which the manufacturer is unable to provide, the Free State is not having it? And fortunately we know what most of these medications are. If it's antiretrovirals, then the example of which has been Abacave in this instance, if we do not have it in our facilities because it's not there nationally, and people have been taking it, we switch them over to the fixed drug combination. Of course, we ensure that people are examined adequately and properly for us to switch them over, and we do that. But any one person would go and raise the alarm that, you know, the medication that I was given has been changed, and this was not explained, or this may have been explained and they didn't understand.
Right.
We do concede, though, that there are some areas where some of the requisite medication is unavailable, but we do not leave the situation at that, because at the core of prevention of drug resistance and patient care, that's our agenda. We make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay, unfortunately, we've got a lot of areas to cover, but I'm sure during the course of the conversation we'll revisit some of those areas. Corruption, policing, big story, and also these statues. We want to know what's going to be happening going forward. We'll chat all about that after this break, and we'll start hearing from the floor here as well. So stay with us, and we look forward to hearing from you at home as well.